Hi everyone, Acesup here, bringing in the action.
Sorry guys, just clicking away here, mashing buttons, registering for a couple of terps, since I don't have too many tables going. Top left, 7, 14, 20, 20, 35, M6, right? Yeah. I think raising is best. It's probably not too many hands I raise fold with there, so good players are probably definitely thinking, looks like ace is up, why hasn't he jammed? He's probably got a monster, but I think the only good player that I think is behind is Nicholas DLP, and well, I mean, he's pretty tight anyway, so he's probably not going to attack too wide. But these three here I'm not so sure about, although this guy's, I think, decent, yeah. But I guess really these two here are the main ones. I might get it in light against us. The other thing too, I mean, about jamming, you know, is it kind of puts them in an awkward spot, because I mean, if they call a jam, and then this guy re-jams over the top, I mean, that's pretty ugly for them, because they've got a kind of a third of their stack in and stuff. It just puts them in a bit of an awkward spot. But whereas now they could raise to like 16, committing to us with like ace 7, and then, you know, but then at the same time, if he jams fold or re-raises kind of thing, it's just a bit better. Just going to do a normal sort of small bet that I do here in this sort of spot. 12 on that, 22 on that, 30, 21 and 6, M4-ish. Yeah, we can't quite fold here to Mr. Lippo. It is kind of not quite close enough to the bubble, I think, to get scared. And I think I'm just going to call here in the top left. 5. And just just let him dunk off with. Oh, we got another knockout top right. just let him dunk off with the big 10. That was awesome. These guys just decides to lead out with it and then just sharp turn. Yeah, a bit wacky. Obviously, that's why you want to call flop in that spot, you know, because my thoughts is that he likely just has a complete air ball, or maybe like a gut shot or bottom pair or something, trying to find out where he's at. We definitely want to, just by calling, you know, we keep in all those bluffing hands that he has, whereas if we jam, they're going to fold. And we only get called by legitimate hands. You know, which, you know, there were still some legitimate hands that might call, you know, like queen 10s and stuff. Maybe you had pocket 5s and you just decided they're probably good on that board. Sometimes these guys think that way. So a pretty good spot here in this bottom middle one. We've got pretty decent control. You know what I forgot to do, guys? Put the heater on. Bottom left, yeah, roly-poly. Oh, I blame that on the heater. Final level remaining. Bottom left, it's a phase 1. Yeah, that's a huge mistake by me, top right. I was just coming back from the heater, and you probably noticed I went to click call and was too late. And it's very sad because we would have had 2 pair. But the reason why it's a huge mistake is because it's a super knockout. And so we need to get in there one way or the other, whether it be by isolating the shorter stack or just calling and giving ourselves the opportunity to bust him, which, you know, we very likely, well, we're in a good position to bust somebody. We would have 2 pair on the turn. What would I have done? I probably just would have limped, I think. Probably. It was a little bit suspicious, I think, him limping kind of early position. But at the same time, he hasn't been raising much. It looks like he's been limping a bit. So, yeah, that tempts me to want to sort of isolate with our hand. But I probably would have just limped, I think, especially given the stack sizes behind. So that was a pretty bad mistake. But, yeah, not too much you can do about that. I was trying to turn the heater on. I didn't want to freeze to death. If you compare it to freezing to death, it was only a small mistake. But, yeah. 12, 21s, 28, 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 4. This is not a very good spot, 12, 26, 4. Yeah, I mean, this is not that good a spot, but, well, it's right on, isn't it? Yeah, I'll wait. All right, I'll wait. Wow, it's annoying. It's annoying. Yes, we would have lost. We would have lost. So it was the correct play because we would have lost. Yeah, I mean this. The problem with that hand is the initial opener has actually been really tight. So we just woke up with he's raising 7% from early over 1,000 hands, and you just happen to have ace-8 suited, which is the complete bottom of his range, I would say. And that sucks. It makes me feel like I made a bad fold. But yeah, I think it was pretty close. I wasn't really so worried about the jammer because he's short and desperate. Although, you know, he should at least maybe have some idea that the guy, you know, in early position is pretty needy or has been. But maybe he doesn't. Kind of still tilted about the king 7 suited top right. It was 160 large we might have picked up there. And it's tilting me. It's tilting me. How close are we to the bubble? Not quite close enough to get too crazy out of line. Yeah. Not quite close enough, I think. If it was like 29 or 30 left of the 27 getting paid, I would probably just be raising here with anything like queen, any suited hand. Given these guys here, I mean, D. Peters is probably not going to, you know, give a shit about the bubble. Yeah. This is probably a pretty good one here. Very hard for D. Peters to 3-bet with the short stacks behind. And everyone, you know, probably playing pretty tight. It's not as close as I would like it. You know, it'd be great here, obviously, if it was 28 of 27. That'd be the perfect bubble raise. But with the ace blocker and these short stacks here, and it's being pretty close, I think it's probably profitable. The thing is, it's a little bit hard for these guys here to 3-bet, you know. It is a little bit hard for them to 3-bet because of the short stacks behind. I'm sure they're still going to 3-bet with a lot of marginal hands, but they're not really going to be able to 3-bet real sort of crap. Most of the time. I mean, some players still do, but I mean, when you're facing an early raise and you've got short stacks behind that you have to commit to, you're not really going to be raising like 6-8 suited or, you know, king 8 suited. You're more likely at least going to want to have something that's going to have a little bit of equity. And maybe a blocker, like an ace 7 suited, or maybe a king 10 off or something, I guess. Pocket 3s. Still can have a bit of a wider, still semi-wide sort of range, but yeah, not too much to think about here. Let's call that one off. He's got himself the old 4-8, and he's looking for the runners, and he doesn't get it. So on we march with our short stack there. 369. Yeah, 369. I think I will take this one. Wow, we're only M3. We're going to pass. So what's the next level? 4 minutes? Yeah, I'll wait. I'll let the blinds pass and then go for it. I think I might even get a little bit of fold equity because it's a low stake thing, low stake game. Probably not going to barrel on the 3 bottom right. Yeah. Wow. It's gone to Pottsville. I don't know why this is... Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're going to be in the money if we make day 1. I'm not sure if that's... I should know, but this bottom left phase 1, I mean, it's around the time that you'd expect to be in the money, but you don't know, I think, until you get into day 2. And I don't know why, but it's just when you see time remaining 2 minutes and you're short, you know, I just kind of want to make it. I actually raised to call off here. I mean, I think it's better than just jamming, but our hand is a little bit too strong, I think, to fold. And right now, I think we were just running a little bit too good to really contemplate it. We can have some of his hands crushed, and you know, as it was, I mean, we were in good shape getting the right price. So, and he's going to have that sort of ace-x a lot as well. And we just need to get chips. You know, we're pretty sure at M6, and yeah, now we've popped up like a daisy, M13ish. Still annoyed about the 160. I know. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Yeah. It's not like I was watching porn and, you know, timed out. It was a legitimate, you know, I had to turn the heater on. Yeah. Dived for the mouse, for the call. I mean, it was a pretty marginal spot anyway. It's not like it was an easy call. I mean, but just with the bonus in play, it's just it's a bit exciting. Got to be in it to win it. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. 9. Gonna make a real crazy play top left here. I think I'm actually gonna raise fold. It's pretty gross, but I just don't think he's ever jamming anything that's. I mean, he might jam 7s up, but he's not jamming ace-9. But I just feel this Bosom Titch guy, he's a very good player, and I just feel like he raises that stack size a lot. He knows, you know, as we would as well. I mean, I just feel like he thinks he can get away with it. And the thing is that we just look really nutty there when we 3-bet, and we got the ace blocker, but we just look really nutty, and his range is a little bit wide, but when you consider what he's actually going to continue with, then it's very hard for him to combat that. He has to wake up with a pretty big hand, and that's hard to do when you're raising wide-ish. And I think 17 to 26, pretty easy fold there. But we could be flip some of the time. It looks like Lippo's got 8s or something like that. 20, 36, what's that like? Yeah, he's got about 8s. Probably red 8s. Wow, 10 jack suited. That was my next guess. Not. And he's gone, so it's probably good. That's a pretty odd jam. I think it was... did I miscalculate his stack? That was a pretty grotesque jam. In the bubble of the... 100 rebuy. I mean, what was it? Was M7-ish? Or maybe he wasn't that deep. I must have not looked at it properly. Let's have a look here. It's 3.7 in there. And I'm just too tired and too lazy to use my brain, so I'm actually going to 3.7. I'm actually going to do 25 divided by 3.7 and find out that it's actually M6.8. I don't know, what do you guys think? I don't really like it. I mean, from a PM point of view, you know, Jack 10's really high. You've got a PM of 58, which is, you know, huge. But the 7 is 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Yeah, I mean, you're well clear. Don't get me wrong; it's definitely profitable. But having said that, I think this is pretty good. It's a pretty good hand and pretty good stack size. I think just actually raise fold with, because it is in the bubble and players are just not going to mess around. I think when you're raising M6.8 in the bubble, very hard for them to mess around too much. You know, mess with you too badly there. And so I feel that, yeah, I feel from a tournament EV point of view, I think that probably is the better play. And I probably would have jammed a year ago or maybe 2 years ago in his shoes there. That's a play that I would have done before. I mean, that's a play I did do. But I think it was a little bit more justified because players are responding a little bit, very tight to jams. But these days players are calling pretty, sort of with more accurate ranges. And in that spot, I think you just get to find out the times that you're up against the sort of hand he was, because the player's just going to 3-bet you and you can just fold and, you know, make it into the money and know that you were obviously never in good shape. You know, but if the guy's got 7s and he raise folds, it's pretty gross, you know, because he's getting a massive price once he raise folds because there's so much dead money out there. So that's the downside, obviously. And, you know, if you do that sort of play and then you double up, you know, it does definitely help set you up for the win, because, you know, if you've raised folding, you're chipping down and just trying to survive into the bubble and that sort of thing, going to likely be very, very short. So, I mean, it's definitely, and it is a profitable jam, so it's definitely not a bad thing. I mean, it's definitely a fine play, but at the same time, in this particular instance, I think I would probably opt just to raise fold. And there's only 29 plays left now, so I mean, definitely with his stack, you know, if we have a look, definitely he would have been able to survive. Well, I tell a lie, you know, he had like 22 or something, right? Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of shorter stacks that are going to bust soon, so yeah, he would have been able, I presume, just to coast in, barring some unfortunate mishap, if he happens to run into a hand in a hand or just get some spot that he just can't pass up and bust on. But yeah, I think the survival, you know, preservation, stack preservation in that spot is probably playing a little bit more of a role. Yeah. It feels a little bit Phil Hellmuth-ish, which is, you know, kind of weird because Phil Hellmuth does some really donkey stuff. But it does kind of feel a bit Hellmuth-ish. He plays a kind of, I think we just check call top right. He might bluff at it, and I mean, there's just not that many hands that we beat that are going to call. I don't think, unless he's just some crazy donkey. Still got a long way to go here. Very good field this, in terms of value. Although it seems a little bit tougher at the moment. I think because the Carnival's on. The Carnival. the carnival's on for Poker Stars, so wow, it's a bit more promotional. A few more regs come out to play. Bet buy position, small blind 8. Oh, look at this video run good. Pretty close there. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know anything about this guy. So we have popped right back up in that big one. Big 109. Pretty bad card top left there. I just think you can have King Queen or King Jack. Maybe even Ace Jack some of the time. But, you know, he's double checked. I don't think I want to go for value, but it's pretty close. And that's definitely a hand he would have called with, so. Yeah. I mean, the problem is that, you know, you could check Jamis and probably have to fold. Well, yeah, probably have to fold. Well, I don't know, actually. That would be a tough spot. But I didn't think there was too many hands. That's probably one, you know, if he happens to have a 9. If he's got 8s or something like that, maybe he's going to call river. When you consider the amount of hands that will call, there's not that many combos, I don't think. I could be wrong. Maybe there's more than I'm realizing with small pairs and stuff if he calls that wide. Kind of felt like he had high cards and he was just going to give up. I was kind of surprised when I saw the 9. He must have been tempted river to go for volume himself. It's probably slightly thin. So the bubble is about to burst. Or not. Claimer, oh my god, it's Hunt, Vinky, D. Peters. I need to give him a colour. Just get him solid. Who else we got? These guys are all decent. Amalaktak's quite good. Munchin HP is pretty good. This guy's very good. Yeah, this Fanchki. I've had a lot of battles with him. Bears fan, quite good as well. Yeah, but not too bad. I mean, there's always going to be a bunch of good players left and in $100 rebuy, and yeah, it's not too bad a mix. Could be worse. And we do have aces. And is it still bubble? And the bubble burst, even better. So a little bit more chance, I think, of someone playing back against us here. I think, actually, maybe it's more in the bubble because they think they can assert pressure. But yeah. And it looks like Munchie has come to our table here. And it's tanking. Where's the 3-bet Munchie? Pretty aggressive Munchie. And folds, now that I've said that, of course. think I will bet here. It's pretty borderline, but it's only been limped. So unless someone's got like ace 10, someone could, I guess, ace 7, ace 8, stuff like that. There's probably a couple of 10 jacks. It could be some jack queens and stuff. I mean, our hand needs a little bit of protection. Yeah. Well, I mean, it needs a lot of protection, really. I mean, 4-way in that sort of situation, but 6, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we can never fold to D Peters, and actually, it's a pretty good spot. I mean, it's a bad spot. I can't say it's a good spot because you know what happens if I say that. It's a bad spot. It's a bad spot. It's a terrible, terrible, terrific spot. Oh man, Fanchki. Trying to own my soul, Fanchki. And hands going on everywhere here all of a sudden. And I have no idea what to do. Yeah, let's just bet here, I guess. Come on, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. 3 bet, 5 position. Three, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm going to call here, but it's pretty marginal. And I'd be lying if I said the fact that there's bounties out there didn't have a little bit of an effect. Super knockout. Wow, it's annoying. Just going with the old double pot. Just trying to think what actually does double pot there. What if you can never have queen 10? It's pretty close with the I had super knockout. 8 10, queen 10, king 10, maybe. I just feel like the bet is slightly too big. If it was like 4,000, I'd call. Problem is that a lot of hands he does that with probably have us a little bit of bad shape because he might have king jack, jack queen, king 9, stuff like that. Some of the time. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, if we've got the clean 8 outs, we've got 32%. We're not quite getting the right price, but with the super knockout, we actually probably are. If you factor in that value. So still chip leader in the 100 rebuy. And 1 of 23, so doing okay. Getting deep. Deep. Oh wow. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 is 8, 6 and 24. But he's still got 5 behind. I think if it was an all in there, I actually probably call off. But he's got chips behind. It's just too many chips. That's annoying because we would have got $160. We really want to try and get this shotgun toucan and the guy to our right. This is a good spot to be in because he's short. He might jam on us. Yeah, I mean, it's really good this tournament, especially when you get chips like this because you can take shots at these shorter stacks and gamble with them because you get the $160 bonus, which is good for your EV. And somehow we're just still surviving this top middle one here. Getting closer to the money in that as well. Oh, good flop. I guess I'm going to fold the 8-10. Pretty close. JD Poker. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close. Wow, I guess I'm just going to flat there now. Pretty bad card. He could have clubs. But, you know, I think if we raise flop, he's probably not folding clubs anyway. And so... At this point, some of the time we're drawing almost dead, which is bad. I think I'm just going to call again. If another club comes off, it's obviously a bit of a nightmare, but I think a lot of the times he gets to the river like this and he's like, well, I have to bet to win, and he just goes for it, you know. With his, you know, if he's got like ace, he might just have ace-9 and just spaz out, you know, just like we saw before. So he's just bet, not jammed. And it's kind of a little bit tempting to shove it in now, because it kind of feels like we do have the best hand now. It kind of feels like it's got Jack, Queen, and Queen, King. He could have, I guess, Queen 10. I don't really expect him to have a 3, because he probably wouldn't donk out with it. There's the clubs there. It's pretty close. We could have jammed. It's kind of right on, I think. The thing is that once he bets like that, it's actually kind of a bad bet by him, because once he bets like that, like if we jam, I don't think he can fold because he's getting a gabillion to 1. You know, he's only got M. Yeah, he only have like M3 behind, you know. That's the problem with that bet that he makes. I mean, it looks like he's always beat, but he's getting some crazy odds to call, and if he does fold, he's only got M3 left anyway, but it just looks like he's always beat if we jam river with his hand. So, you know, it's probably one of those spots where you can actually make like a really gross fold, and you just always know you beat, because we don't really well, I don't think I actually have a bluffing range there at all, you know. So, and I mean, I just don't think we need to, because it's just, yeah. Yeah, I mean, once he bet that small in river, it's really close. I kind of wanted to jam. But, you know, some players do sometimes some strange things, you know, where he could actually do that with the flush and just for some reason just thought that we weren't going to call an all-in, or, you know, just wanted to make sure he got paid. But it certainly felt like he had Jack Queen or King Queen, like I said, and couldn't. The thing is, he's not able to fold at that point. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, this is a really interesting spot here with Munchie. I think I'm actually just going to defend. We're getting a really good implied price. 3, 4. If we 3-bet and he shoves, we fold. If we 3-bets, we could try to induce a 4-bet and then, you know, shove it in over the top of that. You know my feelings on check calling out of position. Especially against strong players like this, he's going to just barrel us off this hand so often. Any turn high card like 10 plus, he's probably going to bet, and and that's going to be a lot of the deck. Actually, this kind of size his bet actually is a little bit. I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's a little bit alarming, that size. I don't know why. I mean, the board's so static. He's betting a very polarized range. So he kind of bet a bit big, like he's trying to get some value, like he has a hand. I don't know why he wouldn't just bet a bit smaller than that. But maybe he's just trying to fold out king highs and stuff. Wow. We just definitely have to bet now. And I think we don't want to make it too big here. We can just bet like 6, 8, 9, 2. 6, 8, 9, 2. I mean, it's pretty sick. If he's got ace high, he's calling, but we're just trying to fold out king high. Obviously, we've been counterfeit and we're playing the board. But the worst thing is if we check and he checks back like queen 10, I mean, that's just gross. It looks like he's thinking with king high, so that's pretty gross as well. But it's pretty hard for him to put us on like a bluff here, because I mean, the only hands that we can really have are 2s and 3s that would bluff, and that's not enough combinations. We can have a 9, we can have a select 4, not many 4s, mind you, but we can have 9s and maybe 5s, 6s and 7s, maybe even 8s that have gone for value, and then 10s up, of course, we're probably 3-bet pre-flop, right? So those middling pairs, I would do the value bet like that. Yeah. So I think that we're definitely bottom of our range there. When you're playing the board, yeah, I mean, normally you want to be at the bottom of your range. You don't want to say we're pretty high up in our range here and actually be playing the board, because you're probably not playing very well. But we got yeah, I mean, that worked out all right. But you know, check calling out of position against good players is always dangerous, especially those marginal hands trying to hang on with a small pair, and I see players trying to hang on with ace high and that sort of thing, and it's just pretty gross. I mean, in that sort of instance, I mean, you actually probably you'd actually probably rather have ace high, because at least if I should have just shoved that bottom left. Actually, that's probably a mistake by me. I mean, just because well, we actually worked out for the best, but just because we're out of position, it's probably just easier just to get in on the turn. For some reason, I thought we were on the button. No idea why. Could have something to do with their brain deficiency. Yeah, that's way too big actually. Let's just do 120. Um, 129 is probably good. Well, I don't think we need to bet too small here. I mean, he's probably got a pretty inelastic range. You know, I mean, it's not like he's going to call with king 10. Well, I mean, I guess if we bet tiny, he might. King 10 with a spade. So he probably does have a little bit of an elastic range, I guess. But I think he's got any pair, he's calling, and he's got a flush draw, he's calling. So that's what I was thinking when I bet that sort of slightly on the biggest side bet, you know. It's going to be hard to stay awake this session, guys. After this level, I might... I'll keep recording, but I might have to give the mic a rest and just have a mental nap. You know, I feel like I've been playing a few sessions lately where I'm a bit like this, a bit tired, you know? And it's just... Yeah, you're just so fortunate if you live in a country where you can just play like it's a job, you know, in the morning, get up. I mean, I would just love that. I've never had that in my life, other than when I've been traveling, you know, around Europe and in Canada and the US, where I can do day sessions. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, you know, it's almost 7 a.m. here, and You know, the good tawnies are just kind of winding down that are online. So what are you going to do? But yeah, I do kind of need to get into a good sleeping pattern, and I'm almost there. I feel like I'm almost there. I've stayed up late on purpose a few nights to try and get through the night and get back on sort of a night shift. And I'll do that for a while, and then you know, hopefully the next bout of night shift will run right through until Christmas and around that time, or ideally even a little bit longer, but it's hard to stay on that sort of schedule. Just kind of a pity, because I felt like I was making really sharp decisions at the start of this session, and then, you know, the best time to be making sharp decisions is now, because we're making these deep runs, and it's like Benjamin Button, you know, should be born backwards. Should come into the world old and frail and get younger. Pretty close, obviously, top right. The thing that kind of prevents me from getting too involved there is the raise size. It's a little bit alarming. It's very small. Not even 3x. Kind of feels like he wants action. I'm a Luxax here. It's actually a pretty decent table. You know, we got JDTP. This plays good. He actually made a couple of mistakes. So I was watching a final table he was on recently, and he was on run at once. Was he? Maybe he was playing well, not making mistakes. It was one or the other. Yeah, not folding here. And I mean, that's just a tough spot, but yeah. I don't think we can quite fold with that stack depth against the player Super Decay. He's a little bit on the loosish side. If he had been tight play there, we can definitely fold. Looks like we're crushed. We've raised an early position. We've got a short stack, so we definitely look strong. So there's definitely an argument for folding. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very, very close. But it just felt like probably 10s up is easy. 9s easy-ish. Getting borderline. 8s borderline, but I think still calling is probably okay, but definitely close. And I won't pull out the Equalab and run some numbers just because I don't want to lose focus on these remaining tables. And of course the 100k free roll, which is almost a complete waste of time, but not quite. Can't really say that about free rolls. We had that 33k score recently. But this one's quite a bit smaller. 7th would only be 2k in this one, not 33. I think it was 7th we came, right? Yeah, I think it was 7th, 6th or 7th. So Munchie lost chips. 10s, jacks. And I mean, just not a lot he can really do there. It's close again, you know. It's getting on the marginal side, but You know, that stack depth, that strength of hand, that player. Yeah, not much to do but get it in and hope to see nines or ace king, ace queen, or snap fold. Yeah, almost same mistake. Top right, but just managed to sneak in the limp and almost the same hand. I've got a good feeling about this hand. Good feeling that the small blind's going to squeeze us out of it. No, look at this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just thinking what I would have done if the big blind had stuffed it in there. And I actually probably would have called. I probably would have re-isolated. Because of the $160 bonus. And a lot of tilt from not getting the bonus last time. I think I'm just going to call this one. And just make out like I have a small pair. And if it goes check, check, turn, I can make a small bluff here. And just try and fold out anything better than Queen 8. Which we probably did, but hard to say. Seven deuce gets there. Wow, okay, so he's limping. He had ace queen, so he's limping with hands. And that makes me feel a little bit better again. And I mean, and that's something I was kind of getting into last when you heard me say he doesn't raise much. He does have a bit of a limping range, but the fact that he doesn't raise much means he's also probably limping with lots of hands like he had. Then ace queen, which is not such a bad thing if you're going to use limping as a strategy. You want to be able to have it more balanced than players generally use it, which is to limp jam, jacks up, and ace queen. Just be sort of donk style. Needy fold top left, but I just think that I want my cards back. No, I mean, I just think we're a little bit too often dominated in that spot by ace jack and ace queen. But pretty close. Pretty close. I definitely think we have the best hand now, but well, I mean, not definitely. He did just pot it, but it is a free roll, so I mean, you could have had anything. These guys, the way they play. Just slipped down a bit, top right, which isn't good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just a bit annoying. And top middle, I mean, bottom, the 100 rebuy. I don't mind the way we're playing there. Like, we're kind of playing on the tight side, but I think that, you know, we've got very tough players around us. These four are all good. And this guy here, I don't know anything about him, but he seems like he's playing pretty good, and he's from Israel. And Israelis normally aren't donks. They're usually poker operators. Yeah, this guy seems like he's having enough for us to just jam here. And after all, it is that free roll. Yeah, I definitely want to raise a twos and try and stack someone, get $160. And I say it, I'm in two minds if we want to jam or not. Small blind, 3-bet bias position. Small blind is there. Probably don't have quite enough information on him. Just thinking if we can fold top right. Probably actually can't. Can we? I think Jack 9, King 9, King Jack. What are we going to do down here? 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to call here. Wow. Just shove on us? On the queen? I just have no idea what he has. It was like bet call, check, check, jam. Is that what happened? I'm not sure I can fold. But we do have 10 blockers, which is gross, because he doesn't have like 8, 10, 9, 10. Well, maybe we can fold. This is one of those gross spots that's normally easy, but when you're tired, it's quite hard. Full pot jam on a queen. Yeah, I think I'm going to call. So he does have 8, 10. Yeah, I mean, it just looked a little bit bluffy, but yeah, but at the same time, an unknown guy in the big blind might take that kind of line sometimes with a queen or a jack or something funky. Oof. And we managed to hold in that little hyper. Definitely need this break coming up. Crack open some fruit. Maybe heat up some chicken. Small blind, please fold. It's so annoying if he jams, because... Oh man, this is so annoying. I'm not sure we can fold it. Just getting this price for it. I'm almost getting 2 to 1. 33%. He could have like Jack Queen, Queen 10 suited. Yeah, I mean, it's so gross. He's pretty tight, but he's just too short. We're getting a ridiculous price. Wow. Yeah. That's annoying. That was a pretty key pot. Yeah, I really thought after that flop it was going to be a chop. And it wasn't. Yeah, that's a really key pot. You might be thinking, oh, look, it's no big deal. This is like M4, but it's actually pretty critical to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, the blinds are going up in a minute, and it's actually really going to have a big impact on the way we play our stack size. And instead of being on 120,000 and sitting second in chips, we're actually sitting 7th. So it's kind of annoying. Well, I mean, if we had got lucky in 1, but most of the time we're going to chop and be on 100k or whatever, so we still would have been second. But yeah, more than that, we would have had M17, and when the blinds go up next level, still be close to M14. Whereas now when the blinds go up, we're going to be closer to M10. Kind of completely changes it, because now we're all of a sudden very vulnerable. You know, our 3-bets are not. They're going to be less 3-betting to fold, more 3-bets that are just shoves, and we can't really open. And if we get 3-bet, we can 4-bet, but we're starting to lose fold equity on that play, especially after a couple of orbits, once we get chipped down a little bit. So it really has a big, I think, impact on the way opportunities that we have left in the tournament, which is why I was, yeah, a bit disappointed with that one. But hey, we've been running pretty good overall, so we're still in, and we're going to continue to plug away and see what we can do here. And we do still have, well, we got 5 bounties up here, 160 apiece, so that's always good. But we're going to try and get some more up there too. So that's it for now, guys. I'll see you soon.